All right, on to a new book, the book of Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy chapter 1. These are the words Moshe spoke to all Israel on the far side of the Jordan River, in the desert, in the Arava, across from Suf, between Paran and Tophel, Lavan, Hatzerot, and Di-Zahav. It is 11 days' journey from Horeb to Kadesh Barnea by the way of Mount Seir. On the first day of the 11th month of the 40th year, Moshe spoke to the people of Israel, reviewing everything Adonai had ordered him to tell them. This was after he had defeated Sihon, king of the Amorite, who lived in Heshbon, and Og, king of Bashan, who lived in Ashtaroth at Edrei. There beyond the Jordan, in the land of Moab, Moshe took it upon himself to expound this Torah and said, Adonai spoke to us in Horeb. He said, You have lived long enough by this mountain. Turn, get moving, and go to the hill country of the Amorite, and all the places near there in the Arava, the hill country, the Shephelah, the Negev, and by the seashore, the land of the Canaanite, and the Lebanon, as far as the great river, the Euphrates River. I have set the land before you. Go in and take possession of the land Adonai swore to give to your ancestors Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and their descendants after them. At that time I told you, You are too heavy a burden for me to carry alone. Adonai your God has multiplied your numbers so that there are as many of you today as there are stars in the sky. May Adonai, the God of your ancestors, increase you yet 1,000-fold and bless you, as he has promised you. But you are burdensome, bothersome, and quarrelsome. How can I bear it by myself alone? Pick for yourself from each of your tribes men who are wise, understanding, and knowledgeable, and I will make them heads over you. You answered me, What you have said would be a good thing for us to do. So I took the heads of your tribes, men wise and knowledgeable, and made them heads over you, leaders in charge of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens, and officers tribe by tribe. At that time I commissioned your judges, hear the cases that arise between your brothers, and judge fairly between a man and his brother, and the foreigner who is with him. You are not to show favoritism when judging, but give equal attention to the small and to the great. No matter how a person presents himself, don't be afraid of him, because the decision is God's. The case that is too hard for you, bring to me, and I will hear it. I also gave you orders at that time concerning all the things you were to do. So we left Horeb, and went through all that vast and fearsome desert, which you saw on the way to the hill country of the Amorite, as Adonai our God ordered us. And we arrived at Kadesh Barnea. There I said to you, You have come to the hill country of the Amorite, which Adonai our God is giving to us. Look, Adonai your God has placed the land before you. Go up, take possession, as Adonai, the God of your ancestors, has told you. Don't be afraid, don't be dismayed. You approached me, every one of you, and said, Let's send men ahead of us to explore the country for us, and bring back word concerning what route we should use in going up, and what the cities we will encounter are like. The idea seemed good to me, so I took 12 of your men, one from each tribe, and they set out, went up into the hills, came to the Eshcol Valley, and reconnoitered it. They took some of the produce of the land, and brought it down to us. They also brought back word to us. The land Adonai our God is giving to us is good. But you would not go up. Instead you rebelled against the order of Adonai your God, and in your tents you complained. It's because Adonai hated us that he had brought us out of the land of Egypt, only to hand us over to the Amorite who destroy us. What sort of place is it that we're heading for? Our brothers made our courage fail when they said, The people are bigger and taller than we are. The cities are great and fortified up to the sky. And finally, we have seen Anakim there. I answered you, Don't be fearful, don't be afraid of them. Adonai your God, who's going ahead of you, will fight on your behalf, just as he accomplished all those things for you in Egypt before your eyes, and likewise in the desert, where you saw how Adonai your God carried you, like a man carries his child, along the entire way you traveled until you arrived at this place. Yet in this matter you don't trust Adonai your God, even though he went ahead of you, seeking out places for you to pitch your tents, and showing you which way to go, by fire at night, and by a cloud during the day. Adonai heard what you were saying, became angry, and swore, Not a single one of these people, this whole evil generation, will see the good land I swore to give to your ancestors, except Caleb the son of Jephunneh. He will see it. I will give him and his descendants the land he walked on, because he has fully followed Adonai. Also, because of you, Adonai was angry with me and said, "You too will not go in there. Yehoshua the son of Nun, your assistant, he will go in there." So encourage him, because he will enable Israel to take possession of it. Moreover, your little ones, who you said would be taken as booty, and your children who don't yet know good from bad, they will go in there. I will give it to them, and they will have possession of it. But as for yourselves, turn around and head into the desert by the road to the Sea of Suf. Then you answered me, "We have sinned against Adonai. Now we will go up and fight, in accordance with everything Adonai our God ordered us." And every man among you put on his arms, considering it an easy matter to go up into the hill country. But Adonai said to me, "Tell them, don't go up and don't fight, because I am not there with you. If you do, your enemies will defeat you." So I told you, but you wouldn't listen. Instead, you rebelled against Adonai's order, took matters into your own hands, and went up into the hill country. Where the Amorite living in the hill country came out against you like bees, defeated you in Seir, and chased you back all the way to Hormah. You returned and cried before Adonai, but Adonai neither listened to what you said, nor paid you any attention. This is why you had to stay in Kadesh as long as you did.